artist? Because the most recent song you put out is called Try Me. I cannot believe you did that because I feel like you try your hardest to not engage.
All right, guys. I think that most of the questions are fans, lovers, and viewers, and audience, and people wanted to ask SARKODIE during YVONNE Nelson and the SARKODIE saga. No,
Like, even doing press, you know, and you've even said that you like to keep your personal life separate from you as an artist. But in
I think SARKODIE has able to answer all those questions.
particular situation, you've had to address things that have been said about you, right? And so, what was your decision in making this song? People are calling it a diss song.
And one of the questions, if you don't know, recently SARKODIE, YVONNE Nelson had a book and wrote certain histories and true life story records of it. SARKODIE came in later. One of the biggest issues in Ghana. People were talking about it and all that. Now we are abortion. Now we say. All these things were like some big deal for SARKODIE because the way people.
But I feel, and it is harsh. I'll say that because it hurt my heart when I was like, oh, I would hate for somebody to. I would not want to go back and forth with Sark on a situation like that.
Respect SARKODIE, the way people see SARKODIE. The book came to change the story and like in a way came to date the image of SARKODIE. Some sort.
But what made you decide this was the move that you were going to make as far as addressing, this book where it was referenced you made a woman have an abortion?
To be very honest,
SARKODIE could not bear it and had to go in there to attack and reply YVONNE Nelson. But literally, the song came out, Try Me came out. The words in it was awful, disrespecting women and a lot of things. People were saying it was good SARKODIE released that track to also tell the side of the story and all that. People too were against it. Now, say if you're a SARKODIE fan, you support the music. If you are not SARKODIE fan, you don't support the music. One of the divisions. Finally, SARKODIE responded to that entire questions that people are craving to ask. First of all, and say like, how did they go about this musical thing, and this in course, what is his opinion about it, and then what does he have to say about it? SARKODIE was trying to say, he personally, he doesn't want to speak about this issue because
I see people do it all the time, and instead of me engaging in a back and forth, I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, I'm going to just keep on doing my thing and not let anybody knock me off my square.
True.
But this time you said, it wasn't a line or two.
It was a whole song.
Who did you let hear this first? Was anybody in the studio with you when you did this?
Funny.
He feels emotional about it, and he feels like
it's a sensitive conversation that the reason why I didn't do no media around or press around it is because I know I might lose how I would like to present what I feel about it.
People is waiting for him to speak up, saying whatever that he will say, they can even twist whatever that comes out of his mouth until he doesn't want to talk about this YVONNE Nelson and SARKODIE issues.
So normally this is not the first time I've done records to address a certain issue or maybe a line or two in a record because I don't know, there's certain energy I hate to feed into, especially speaking about it, because I might lose my cool. So
but all the same, he was able to spell out certain informations and certain answers that most of the audience needed. And say, how did the music came about?
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super proud of everything. It's just in the moment how I felt, whether it be my truth, there should have been a way that you could have said it. That's why I don't like to speak about it. Because this is a conversation between two people, but then we could have a conversation if you want to talk about it because it involves me as well.
Okay.
But because people know the SARK doesn't speak, people think they can say something and no SARK is not going to speak of it.
Which he was saying literally, if people think his fans.
Once in a while, you just
let them poke the bear. Poke the bear. And because I'm the same way. If people talk crazy about me, I don't like to address things because I feel like it gives it way more life.
It's in support of the music there. It is a no for the audience, because
my team is here. They're all like, people think my team is in support of what I did or the record. None of them knew I did the record.
And his management or whatever it is was not in support of it. Even as at that time he was on tour.
Because I was on tour. I'm actually on tour when it happened.
Yes.
So,
he has to sneak into the studio.
The I did it personally for myself.
and write the music and whatever it is. And
sometimes when I feel something, then the lyrics is going to come right there and then. So I sneaked into the studio to even record this. I didn't let nobody hear it because I didn't want to hear no advice.
Right.
I just literally want to do what I felt at that point. And face the consequences later on. But
literally, the song was leaked.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. So you're like, well, it's here now.
Because it's in the middle of
Let
the
me
night.
just get, okay.
Where I was, it was like very late. I think 2 a.m. And then I see Twitter going crazy. People putting out the record.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
I have no idea because I didn't give it to. So I have like 2-3 people that I don't want to suspect.
Right.
And the team was not in support of it, and he did it to be able to express himself. Now, concerning how did people try to reach out to you, as YVONNE Nelson and SARKODIE saga will go on, they asked him about the phone calls, whatever it is, and he was saying that a lot of phone calls came.
Probably was like, what are you doing? I can imagine those phone calls and text messages.
a lot of phone calls. So in the heat of the moment, the person that I didn't hear from, which normally she would have been the first person to hit me, is my lawyer.
A lot of people was trying to reach out to him, but he realized there was something off, which was his lawyer, Mama Sia. As at that time, Onokura tried to reach out to Mama Sia.
Early morning, I was trying to tease her, and I said, Mama C, so don't you care about what's happening? Because she would hit me up and say, what are we doing? The sad news is she was dead at the same time.
What?
Yeah, so just I see 2 texts go. I didn't hear. Of course, she would respond like within 5.
£1 and same way, because you were not able to reach out to me and all that, like trying to tease and whatever it is. Not knowing that, unfortunately, during that tragedy with YVONNE Nelson and SARKODIE saga, Mama C, the lawyer, was dead.
It took hours, and then I heard she's no more. So
Oh
just
my
within
God,
that period,
that's an
it was
awful.
like very, very tough time within that show.
It was a big one for him to handle, such a mother figure and a lawyer to SARKODIE during that moment, Obe Lucy,
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Ooh,
Yeah, so
that's
she would have been somebody who I know wouldn't endorse that situation.
one of the Arabs more okay. And more questions were pushed further. Say
How I wanted to handle it, but I just felt like it. Like this, I normally don't do it, but this, to me, I think I'll get to a point where I can speak freely about it. I think it's still fresh.
how does he feel about it? And he says that upon all the lines and the music that he did to express himself on the music, on the try meaning, he still feel hurt and fresh within himself, because as I've not checked for almost like 13 years now. So if 13 years ago, and if you want to talk about it, at least it could be me and you kind of talk.
I want to process it before I can really speak.
And this is something that happened like a really long
13
time
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
13
so
years
this is
ago.
something that she brought back up. And then I know in interviews you don't even really like to address things like this, but since you put the song out,
Yeah.
and it felt like somebody leaked it first.
Yes.
And so maybe you didn't even intend to put.
He has not even healed out of what YVONNE Nelson did. The music was somehow leaked. And Okra count one of the main reasons why after that he has to go out there to push the music out there, because
I'm gonna create some energy because
Right.
I did it just to hold on to it and see if I'm gonna release it. But then when it came out, I was like, let me just put it out. Yeah.
all of a sudden he woke up and he on Twitter and he realized that the music was like booming on Twitter and all that. He suspect 2 or 3 people will be in his team and they could leak it, but he doesn't want to even speak about it. But all the same,
Often, like, something goes on and you're like, let me just do a song about it, and then
Yes.
kind of put it away. Like kind of like a getting something off your chest diary, because you do come from that school of rap battling.
Exactly.
So when something makes you mad, I could see you, instead of
Yeah.
writing it down, you might just be like, let me just go in the booth and do something.
Yeah, I express myself well when I do music. I think
he has talked about it. And as you know, he says that he personally, he's able to like express himself more in music when it comes to like
even in the thoughts, I'll be all over the place. Conversations like you've been talking about my people and how our music and how we're supposed to survive and do this. I care so much about it that when I speak about it, because of the passion and emotions I have for it, I might not be able to get to the point. But when I do a record, I have time to really say exactly what I want to say.
being there and talking about music or expressing himself, like man to man talking or whatever it is, he's not able to express himself well than to talk about it through his music and his rap. That is where he's able to express himself and all that. And he has done a couple of music back and forth with Beef or whatever it is. But with no, he feels like
if I speak about it, I don't know if I'm a good person that express himself well.
For him to talk well or for him to speak, it all depends on the music that he makes. And
but there's certain situations I know that I might lose my cool. Things I'm very passionate about, it's hard for me to speak about.
After the music, Angela, he decided to say, so what's up?
So when something happens, I feel like let me just do a record. Or most people are lucky. Sometimes it'll be a line or two in a verse.
a little bit,
Yeah,
a little stab.
But if I do a whole joint for you,
That
means a few times I've done that. I think this is the second time I've done like a record.
Yeah, I think so.
One particular situation. That should tell you that this
Non-living thing.
After he did the music, what's up with it? What was the response? And SARKODIE was trying to downplay the whole issue, say, oh no.
I liked it. Has she responded at all?
He is not expecting any response from anybody.
No.
Like, has anybody said? Because I know your followers will tell you, and it hasn't been anything.
I haven't, like, when I put it out, I wasn't looking for. I did it because I want to do it. I'm not looking for a reaction. Regardless
of whether Yvonne Nelson or people will talk about it, whatever it is, all that he feels was that the music has been made and he has written whatever he wants to talk about it, whatever he feels within himself, why he wants to talk about it. He has put it out. At the end of the day, that is it. He doesn't care about any response or whatever it is. He's trying to downplay Yvonne Nelson or make Yvonne Nelson.
But you didn't even intend to really put it out either.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking out for it and trying to figure out who said what. I just said it and that's it.
When he made the music, Yvonne Nelson made a several tweet, but SARKODIE was trying to downplay it, like nobody told him about any Twitter response or whatever it is, which was so they asked him, said, Tracy, how did Tracy able to handle the whole issue? And
what did your wife say about all this? And did she know in advance, or did she find out with everybody else?
SARKODIE was like, Tracy, the way Tracy handled the issue,
to be honest, I really still don't want to speak about that, but I think she handled.
Not a bro, not a so Tracy was
the way that I didn't think she was going to be able to handle it. She was cool about it. She cared more about how I was feeling, which was
like cool about it. I mean, because he was on tour.
If I was good, because I was on tour, so that was her worrying about how I was feeling.
Because she knows it's out of character too. It's not like you just be firing off on people.
Yeah.
Tracy was able to confront, and they had a beautiful experience and all that. But he personally doesn't even want to talk about this.
But it takes a lot for me to speak because, to be very honest, the reason why I don't speak, which might sound a certain type of way, but I feel like nobody's really worth my response.
Saka, because they have been a very long way. Long, like 13 years ago, something in the past. But all the same, I think our viewers and our listeners and people that are interested in the questions and answers that SARKODIE was able to give out, I think SARKODIE was able to answer all the questions that people were interested in, right from how the song was written, how the team, whether the team was support or was not in support, how the song was leaked. He also talked about it and how all these, the wife reactions and how he was able to handle it. He was able to talk about it. Now, I think our listeners and our audience now have the answers from the horse's own mouth about this Yvonne Nelson saga. We follow all the stories about SARKODIE. Right now, SARKODIE is touring in US and really he's doing amazing and perfectly well. And we give him all the support and all the love. And we are saying, Obede, soar higher, the highest. Peace out.